Confluence Fly Shop. My name is Gabriel Juarez. Today we're going to be tying a pheasant tail nymph. It really needs no introduction. Everyone knows what a pheasant tail is. It's really a versatile fly in the sense that it can be tied in multiple sizes and colors. It imitates a wide variety of insects, and it's one of the patterns that we really like to use here locally. Let's take a look at what we're going to be using today to tie this fly. So today we're going to be using the Daiichi 1560 in a size 14, but you can tie it in any size you'd like. Our thorax is going to be the hare's eye stub and peacock. Traditionally the thorax is tied with peacock curl, but it tends to be kind of brittle and delicate. It looks great in the water, but in order to prolong the life of your fly just a little bit longer, we're going to resort to the dubbing here. Our rib is just going to be standard ultra wire in Brassie. This is copper. And if you decide to tie a flashback variant, we really like the Mirage tinsel. For a size 14, you can't go wrong with a medium, and this is just opal. Last but not least, pheasant tail, and this will be our tail, our abdomen, and our legs. So first thing we're going to do is pinch that barb so we don't have to do it on the river. Alright, so I've got 70 denier ultra thread in black in the bobbin today. This is a great thread for all of your nymphs. I'm going to start right behind the eye, about an eye length behind the eye. That's going to be our insurance for a nice clean thread head. Next thing we're going to do is tie in our wire. I'm going to tie this wire in nice and straight on my side of the shank. We'll make wraps all the way back till we get to the hook point. Okay, next step is the tail. And for the tail, I'm only going to cut about 6 or so fibers from the stem here, pheasant. Once I got those tips aligned the best you can, tail should be about a shank length. I'll come in, get a rough estimate here, that's about good. I'm going to pinch this in place. I'll spin that bobbin clockwise to cord that thread up some, get a good hold on these pheasant tail fibers. So as I'm pinching, I'm going to make wraps. Keep that on the top. I'm going to fold that back, make a few wraps up front, and that's really going to secure that in place. Okay, so we've got our rib and we've got our tail in place. Next step is we're going to build up an abdomen. And the way we do this is we're going to spin that bobbin counterclockwise to flatten it out. So we're not building unnecessary bulk here. I'm going to make a nice tapered abdomen. We'll make wraps all the way up to where we started and then come back down to about the middle, and then we'll advance back up. And now we've got a nice, slender, slim profile, nice taper. If you see any insects in the river, you'll notice that, all of them have somewhat of a natural, gradual taper to them. And that's important when we're tying these flies. So next step is we're going to wrap our body with these pheasant tail fibers. Just make nice, even wraps here. You want to maintain tension. I'm going to come in once, twice behind, and a few times in front. Tie that off. Come in flat with your fly tying scissors and trim the excess. All right, so we wrapped our pheasant away from us. We're gonna wrap the wire towards us in order to create what we call a reinforced abdomen or a counter wrap. And this is really gonna allow those fibers to stay in place. And that tail is gonna wanna spin with the wire, so just keep it in place there. Nice even wraps. Make sure you're maintaining tension here. And we're gonna tie this off the same way we tied off our body wraps. We're gonna come in once, over, twice, over. And we're gonna wrap a few times in front. Okay, and instead of coming in here with our fly tying scissors and trimming the excess here, that'll immediately dull your scissors. Don't do that. There's a really easy way to do this. You're just gonna take the excess and spin until it breaks off free. You can get a nice clean break. We'll make wraps back over the abdomen, just a little ways here. Okay, so now we're gonna tie in our wing case. And again, we'll be using pheasant tail fibers for that. I'm gonna trim about 8 fibers from the stem here. Try to align those tips the best you can. All right, so when I'm tying this in, my tip should be about 2/3 the length of the tail. Spin that thread on the bobbin again. Really get a good grasp on this pheasant. Come in and trim the excess. Okay, next step is our thorax. And we're gonna use that hare's eye stub and peacock. Traditionally, you use the peacock herl for the thorax. And peacock herl is amazing. It's an amazing material that looks even better in the water, but it tends to be a little brittle, a little delicate. And so using this dubbing is gonna maximize the durability for this fly. I'm just gonna make a nice slender dubbing noodle here. We'll wrap our thorax. If you feel like this dubbing noodle is coming off the thread, you can always stop and twist. Make sure it's nice and tight. And we'll stop right behind the eye. Okay, so next step here is we're going to fold these pheasant tail fibers over the top of the thorax to create our wing case. I'm going to tie those off right up front here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my bodkin. I'm going to try to separate these fibers as best I can. Get even number, or try to get an even number of fibers on each side of the hook. I'll come in with my thumb and sweep these back over the rest of the fly. So I'm just going to hold them back and make thread wraps back up towards the thorax. And this will give me some legs. I'm just going to make a couple of 3-turn whip finishes here. So the next thing we're going to do here in order to really make this fly bomb proof is I'm going to come in with this UV resin and flow from Loon. I'm going to put just a little bit on the end of my bodkin here, and I'll apply that to the thread head. Let that kind of soak into your thread wraps. And then we'll come in with our UV power light and cure it. Okay, so that's the pheasant tail. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them on the video online. And you can also follow the links in the description to purchase any of the materials that we used today to tie this fly. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time you come through the shop.